Hello everyone, this is Jebro and welcome to Battle of Kylo. This is the engineer and this is kind of the meta build, I guess, for EU currently, or that people are currently playing. You can see I'm using the Bulwark Gyro there on the bottom right hand side. And yeah, first of all, going over towards the trip, doing what I do normally, commentating on my own gameplay, of course. Not got Elixir B, of course, as well, because at the moment, you know, Necros can corrupt like anything. So yeah, don't really want more boons, and just want to keep some stability as well through one of my traits, which is of course on the scrapper line as well. The end line, so I'm not taking the condition damage reduction of 20%. I'm going to take the lightning field on the destruction of gyro, and obviously the stability as well. So as we go into this game, of course, you can see I've attacked the Treb because we've got pressure there. I come up against the Necro and the Thief as well. Using this defense field actually, which is really good versus projectiles, and obviously good for defense, especially if you come in. There's a Thief obviously hanging around. Necro's obviously got projectiles coming out with staff as well, so you know, some good usage out of this, and able to, unfortunately, almost able to take out the Necro there. It does get Reaper Shroud off. I have to use Elixir X to run away, get Elixir S proc as well, and they don't actually follow me up too much here. I do get away, able to get my heal off as well, and we do a good job of that. So, going over towards mid now as well, just trying to make sure I can maybe potentially get a little bit of a cheeky res here. Although I potentially completely avoid him. He does get back up in the end though, of course, as well. And all things are good and dandy. So we are going to try and take down this engineer. Obviously keeping him off point. Just putting a little bit of poison on him so he's not going to be able to regenerate that fast. And using my force skill on the elixir gun to get away. As well as doing a little bit of extra damage which takes him into downstate. So moving over towards the mansion now. We can see just trying to equalise this fight up over here. Potentially to protect as well, because the Necro is obviously going to fire some projectiles out, so giving some nice distance there. It's a good way to block because it reflects those projectiles as well. It can do a lot of damage. Obviously, you know, he brings in Reaper Shroud, and for a while he's not going to be able to be damaged, so just get out of there. Going to heal up quite shortly as well, or should be, although maybe you don't need to actually. Getting rid of those conditions and just making sure I'm going to be able to sustain myself. We get down the Necro here. Obviously the Ranger is in the distance, so obviously planting down that Elixir X throw is going to make sure he's, one, not in Celestial Avatar form, and two, he's not going to be able to go for the res either. So now trying to chase the Thief. I get a nice shot off with my I think I killed him with the Elixir gun there in the end, and obviously, you know, he's resing up there, so I have to get up to make sure I can try and take him out. But I notice as well that one of my buddies is in trouble, so what do I do here? Decisions. I could have used my gyro there, really, actually, to take him down, but unfortunately I don't go for that. I go for the damage and just go for the down myself on that player, and then I'm going to go for it on the other one as well, but we've already picked him up, obviously using that charge to try and get a little bit of a gap closed there, but the Thief does stealth in his downstated mode, and we've got another down on the point as well. So a couple of mistakes there. Could have used my gyro to get the down on the guy from a distance, and also potentially bring up my body there. I don't think he would have rallied, so I chose to go for the down. I could have done it. All I needed to do was press F, but unfortunately I didn't. So now just using the defense field to block just some potential projectiles coming out there from the Ranger. Nothing comes out in the end, just in case, you know, he might have had up the Basilisk, so, you know, that would have been horrible. So just waiting to really cap the point and then move back into the map. We've got considerable lead, but they do come back later in the game as well. So yeah, just moving out from that point, grab the 2 cap, that's our home node as well, but need to move out into the map because we're starting to lose people as well as actually losing mid node. So I want to challenge on a 1v1 here. Don't know who's there as of yet, so I could be walking into anything. It's going to be a Thief, so that's good. I can sustain this, I can survive for a while. Don't have Sneak Gyro anymore because, you know, that got kind of nerfed. It's still useful, but here I just needed, you know, if it'd gone into stealth I wouldn't have been able to reveal him, unfortunately. So now I'm just really running around the point, trying to sustain as much as I can, even just try and catch some poison as I'm running up there. Obviously using that a bit too early, and they do get the midpoint in the end. So obviously my gyro goes down there, but it creates that combo lightning field, so if you charge through that and get a blast off, you're going to be able to get some nice stuns off, dazes off, sorry. I'm trying to get the thunderclap so it doesn't get on node. Unfortunately I don't get that, and now I'm in the 1v2 situation versus a Necro and a Thief, so that doesn't want to be something I want to stay in for too long. So get the defense field up, which is the Tool belt function for, of course, the Bulwark Gyro. Make sure I don't get too hit badly there, that English, and then obviously get my healing turret up and try and survive here. So doing a good job. Obviously engineer very survivable anyway, and we do a fantastic job of surviving there. So just trying to really, they're just chasing me around, so I'm just trying to dodge around, not going to get the decap, and trying to just +1 where I can, or at least, you know, have a looking at the mansion and also just how things are going. Thought he was going to chase me a little bit more there as well, so I could have looked behind me, or could have just checked out the map to see that he did indeed stop that, but know now that the Necro is still at mid, so this could be a bit of a challenge. At present, he pulls out Lich form out of anything, and then obviously, you know, that's going to be reflected onto him if he does decide to hit me at all, but then obviously that's not going to last forever. So now I'm against the Lich form. I've got no Elixir X toss, and he's got stability as well, so you know that's going to be a difficult thing to fight. So obviously I'm now sticking on the side to just regen a bit, actually just take my time. Really, this fight wasn't the greatest for me to just continue and carry on with. We've lost the Ranger elsewhere as well. Could have gone over towards Windmill, but decided not to do that. Now we do have the Thief coming in, which is very useful for my team and for theirs, so equalises things up a bit now as well, as we're in the 2v2 here, but I'm still going down quite low. Throw the mower really out of desperation because I'm going quite low, as well as the Elixir X. The Elixir X, which gives me the Tornado, which hopefully I was going to be able to get a decap off. Doing the end off Reaper Shroud as well, knock the downed corpse off, so if the Reaper does go for the actual res, he has to go for it off point, and we can get more caps and actually the decaps. So not too bad thinking there. We got the downstate as well, but he is going to be raised up here. We do get the downstate luckily enough though from the other player, but I'm trying to defend here with that defense field, going for the res. Unfortunately, I just, for some reason, and I was thinking this before, I just wasn't watching for the down, and we were outnumbered in that fight as well. Currently one guy on our team is down and out on the map, so a couple of mistakes there really from me. Maybe going for the res wasn't the best option. Maybe should have gone for the down there at all, or just some damage, but I was thinking maybe I could get the res, but I was just being a bit careless watching the corpse of my friend, and also the fact that someone's actually trying to take him down. So a couple of errors there on my behalf, but let's not deal with that now. Anyway, mid I just put across there because basically it's got loads of people there, so the Ranger and the Thief are currently there as well. I get a nice little res here, but the Ranger's still up top, so guess what I use? I use Defense Field to put the bubble up on my ally, and the Ranger cannot take me down at all because all the low shots are reflecting back onto him, because he even keeps firing there as well. You can see the target up in the distance. It's a dark red, which is a little bit weird, not sure what's happening with that. We're going to go for the +1 here to try and get him off node, or just be a bit sneaky here as well. So it wasn't 1v2, it was actually 1v2 in terms of our Thief jumping into the point and just getting instantly nailed. So I'm not sure why he engaged on 2 people so quickly there. It was very interesting, and he did just get taken out. There was no point in me going for the res there, and I just move over towards this midpoint. Now trying to trap the Necro off point there to get the decap, and just using Slick Shoes as well. I do get a cheeky little decap here, which is just really a distraction tactic while I go elsewhere, and if they do try to follow me, then obviously bringing them into a fight, which hopefully is going to be more advantageous for us as we do come over to this point, and hopefully, you know, able to get something out on this. Nice knockback and control there, effects coming out from the team. Able to get the Ranger down quite easily there as well. No real big cooldowns here other than my heal left, but we're winning the fight anyway. Necro gets taken out next as well. Looks like we're going to be able to win this fight successfully. Engineer Jump runs into a battle which possibly is going to be lost, but we've overcommitted here as a team massively, and the mansion is currently being recapped in blue team's favour for a potential almost free cap. Obviously we get the windmill, stick up my defense field again on the tool belt just to make sure no one's trailing me from behind, and now I'm going to potentially go 1v1, but I do just run blatantly past him, trying to use the block as well while I do that. Using Slick Shoes, do catch him out actually at the bottom there, and someone else has had the same feeling as me, and now we're going to have a 2v1 in our favour potentially, but they should get some rush here from their own team. Obviously, you know, 2v1 we got him down quite quickly, which was quite nice. Do we have another person joining us fairly shortly? We don't, so that's okay, and we're actually able to get the kill there as well. So now grabbing ourselves the mansion and possibly the windmill as well. I'm going to go to mid. I'm going to try against this Necro again. The game is getting really, really tight now. We've got to try and make sure we nail these points down, or actually, you know, communicate a little bit better as a team, because we're all kind of just running around everywhere at the moment. Fortunately for us, we start to come together quite well. We get the decap over on the midpoint as well. Just 2v1ing here, should be able to take Necro out quite shortly. Necro on our team, unfortunately, has died over on the mansion as well. The +1 came out from that, unfortunately. We get the decap and we get the kill, but I'm actually going to leave that in. I was thinking about leaving it 1v1, but I think I just went back to, because I wanted to make sure we were actually going to get the cap there, and noticing that someone on my team was actually quite low HP. He ports away out of all the trouble. I slick shoes up, stopping them from potentially going for that, and then I go for the res, and we do indeed able to get it in the end. Gyro enables a static field to come on the point, which we, you know, able to get a little bit of stun there, and follow up with some nice damage onto the thief as well. So we got the 2 cap, we got some kills, and at this stage of the game, that happening is pretty much solidified a win, to be honest. Even though you can see the point score is quite close, we've got the 2 cap, and we've got some nice kills still with the downstate player. The Necro have asked just to go to windmill, paranoid about the fact that someone's just going to respawn and run over and get it easily. Just didn't want our lead and our win to be possibly defeated. So by going towards this point, this mansion point, we stop potential for them to come back and give them momentum into the map and really solidify the win. That's the game pretty much. It's always quite rushed. I feel like I'm not really casting my own abilities, but more my movement and whatnot. So if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and also subscribe. Thanks very much, and I'll describe what's happening with Engineer in a future video as well. There was a previous one talking about Elite Elixir X, and that is also on the channel. Thanks a lot for watching, and see you soon. Hello everyone, this is Jebro. I'm playing the meta build for the Scrapper right now, as you can see, and this is just one of my games. This is just my game of the day, where it's actually the first game of the day I played, and we did okay. We did alright, especially with the lineup we have. We do have a Ranger and an Elementalist there as well, so I'm just going to run through.